I hear it.
It's a miracle.
It is a miracle. Christ. All right, listen. This has been a complete cluster F.
Welcome to Comedy Centric, your place for all things comedy. Every week we'll discuss the legends and the people who built the business. The performers, writers, behind the scenes, and stories that you have never heard. So relax, take a load off, and join us for this episode of Comedy Centric. Now the host of your show, nationally headlining comedian, a woman with a wicked sense of humor and a killer Jersey accent, Julia Scotti.
All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can't hear me. Can you hear me? All right, hello.
That was easy.
Well, we got to tell. We have had.
We've been working for the past half hour to get this shot right here.
Well, this is amazing. We just we've had so many problems getting here today that even Amelia Earhart couldn't have found us today. She's right behind me.
You don't want her help.
No, we don't want her. She's got a bad sense of direction.
No, it was her pilot. Her co-pilot was Noonan that had the bad.
Fred Noonan, that drunken bastard.
Fred. I'm glad we were able to do the show because I got my hair cut today.
I see that. I was going to say, I wish I could see you. I wish I could blow my screen up so I could really see your head. But from what I see, it looks nice.
Thanks, Emily.
Yeah. I'd say good job, Emily.
Emily is one of those young girl. I shouldn't say girl. Young lady that is really, really pretty and doesn't realize she's really, really pretty. Like she's so sweet. And I love people like that, but then they also annoy me because I'm like, you have to be able. Do you own a mirror?
I had the same problem.
I know. Oh, that's why I love you too.
I know. How you doing there, Chicky Poo?
I'm not as good as you.
What you talking about?
Where do you want to start? You want to start in the UK? Or you want to start with your little article?
Let's start with the article. That was
cool, right?
It was very cool. Why don't you tell them what it was?
I will tell them. Well, so I forget the name of the publication, but it was the top 5 comedians that are changing and transforming and being what's the word I'm looking for? Like for their causes and just kind of
advocates.
Advocates. That's the word I'm looking
for. Activism.
All the A words.
All the A words. Except for the A-hole. That was the only one.
They left that one out.
The 5 biggest A-holes, I didn't get on that one.
That's in the next one. So I forget the other 3, but the last 2 was W. Kamau Bell and
Maz Jobrani was on it too.
Okay,
and who?
Julie Scotti.
She was on it. I know. I was really
cool.
See, I was going down the list because I didn't know anything about this thing.
Right.
And I was going down the list and I see, wow, these are impressive people. And then, I see Kamau Bell and I'm like, and then I see me, I'm like, what the hell did I ever do?
I know. Wait till we tell you.
I gotta tell you though, it was very nice, and it came at a wonderful time. I was feeling kind of down in the dumps lately because I feel like sometimes I'm not getting through to people, especially in light of what's going on.
Oh, I know the rhetoric is just off the charts. It's
So,
but the other good news for you was in 2 days.
2 days, yes.
2 days.
Friday,
at the end of
March 31st.
The UK will be able to view Julia Scotti Funny That Way.
Yep, it's going to be streaming in the UK. It premieres on I think it's Amazon UK. I think it's a completely different Amazon.
Yeah.
And what's nice about it is I've been getting such great press, such great interviews over there. I did one today for the BBC in Sussex, England. Wonderful interviewer. She's a terrific. In fact, I think she's agreed to be a guest in the next coming. And she was a big fan of yours. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, really?
She. That's why I called you earlier to tell you that.
Oh,
she.
I missed that call.
Well, no, she said I've had a lot of strong women in my life supporting me, and she was referring to you. So, Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. And we are surrounded by strong women tonight. Um, in fact, we have one as our guest. See what I did there?
You are getting really good at this.
I was gonna say, I gotta pat myself on the
money is coming very soon. I can tell.
Yeah, no. I've Rhonda Hansome is our guest tonight. And she's quite a woman. I remember. Well, I don't want to tell you right now about Rhonda stuff, but she's a comedian, a writer, a producer, a director, a maron. She's found a cure for the common cold. I mean, she's just an amazing human being, and she's going to be our guest tonight. So, do you know her? Do you know Rhonda?
I know. I don't think we've ever worked together, but
Yeah.
it was going so well, and then you just kind of
went right off the rails.
Yeah. It's a shame because you're really doing well.
I've only got so much in me, you know. I'm draining.
Well, you need a recharge. You need to stop at one of those little electric vehicle places and plug in for 8 hours.
Honest to God, I tell you, because I got the play coming up in a couple of weeks. We're doing first rehearsals next week. I've been auditioning for movies like crazy. I did 3 over the weekend, 3 auditions. Got 1 in today for something else. Things are going great. They couldn't be going better. And I'm going to be in. I just booked Boca Raton for the 31st of April at the Boca Black Box.
So why don't you pitch more?
I'm pitching. Well, you said I ran out of gas. I always get charged up when I talk about
I wouldn't
myself.
call that being tired. I just call that being you. You just.
Oh, okay. Now you got to let me know when Jimmy starts playing the music so we can outro and go to the break and then bring on our guest Rhonda Hansome. So if he's not.
He's not, but
he's not. I know he's not. Though. If he's got his pants on still and there it is. I hear it.
It's a miracle.
It is a miracle. Christ. All right, listen. This has been a complete cluster F so far getting on here. So you're lucky we got this far. But we'll be back right after this really short break with Rhonda Hansome. Hey, listen, my album, Julie Scotti Jersey Fresh, is available everywhere now. You can download it wherever you want, everywhere. It's really kind of funny. It's like $10. Come on, buy the damn thing, will you? And also, check out on the Dry Bar, my comedy special, Dry Bar Comedy. It's called Julia Scotti Jersey Fresh. So you can, it's my understanding that if you sign up for Dry Bar, you can see like 100,000 comics on there. But you, of course, after you watch mine. But you get a free month, I think. It's still going on like that. So, again, my album, Primal Cuts, and my special on Dry Bar, Jersey Fresh. It's so simple. Come on, do it. Do it for me. Do it for your mom. I love you. Bye. He always does that. He always does that. He always does that. We're waiting for the music to come back in. And I think he's going to pot it up, slowly. Come on. It's blasted. I'm going to open the door. Hey, turn down that music, you kids. That's what it's going to be like one of these nights. Anyway, we're back. And Rhonda Hansome, as I said, you're going to like her a lot. She's a lot of fun. And I'm going to have a compliment for her when she comes on. That's how I want to open the interview, okay? All right, so let me just get the compliment out, and then we can talk. Okay?
Okay, well, let's bring her on.
I'm going to. Okay. So as I said, I've known her forever. We've known her for, 40 years or whatever. She's a comic. She's very funny. She's got an incredible resume. Writer, director, producer, actor, unbelievable. One of my favorite people in the whole world. Ladies and gentlemen, Rhonda Hansome.
Welcome.
Hi.
Oh,
How are you?
Oh, I'm excited to be here with you. I miss you. It's been so long since I've seen you face to face. I'm delighted, just delighted.
Speaking of face to face, I only see half of yours. So just move over to your right a little bit.
Welcome to the shit show, Rhonda. Happy to have you.
This has been the night of 1,000 podcast horrors here.
Well, we've still got time to have more.
Oh. All right, so I gotta give you my complimentary intro. Okay, back when I first met you, Rhonda, she had this. You know how some people, Kat, would. I always pictured Rhonda coming out of a limousine with paparazzi flash bulbs, shooting as she just looks into the camera and lights up the room. She was so glamorous back then. Not that she's not now.
Yeah, really. You didn't have to throw in the back then, Julia.
But my first impression of her was like, she whisks into a room and she's a presence. You know, some people are presence. Yeah, that was Rhonda Hansome, and
I almost wore sequins for you today.
But I'm telling you, I swear to God, every time I saw you, you were dressed to the nines. You were, it just the makeup was perfect. Everything was friggin' perfect. I hated you, but you were wonderful.
When did you guys meet? Was it back when you were doing stand up before Julia, or when you came back?
Before. No, I've known Rhonda. Rhonda's from the 80s, right?
Yeah.
I think it was probably mid to late 80s.
It was sometime in the previous century.
Yes.
Previous iteration of.
But she hit the stage too. I'm talking about you like you're dead, but this is all.
Let's let her talk.
All right. Let's let you talk. Okay. So when did you start?
Well, actually, 1980 was the year that I started.
Okay.
And it's so funny when I say that, people, start doing math and then their head starts spinning and their eyes cross,
So that's the same year I started too. So we're we're in that same. But you did you? Okay, so did you come out of another field?
Well, I had been an actress and nobody was hiring me, and I thought, oh my God, let me do something where I don't have to be, wait for someone. And I started doing improv and stand up, and that really took off for me. The stand up took off.
What was your home club?
That was your new path.
Well, it really wasn't a new path because I was doing so many things. I was also doing puppetry. And because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was actually taught puppetry by the Muppets, and I performed with them on the premiere show of Saturday Night Live. I mean, I was actually doing anything that I could do to say I'm in show business.
So you were a puppeteer on the Saturday Night Live show with them?
On the premiere show of Saturday Night Live.
That's huge.
Which puppet were you?
Vash.
The hell is Vash? I don't remember Vash.
So, which ones do you remember?
Yeah, right. Better question.
Well, I remember Rolf. Rolf the dog.
That was not on Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live was an entire universe the Muppets created. It was not puppets from Sesame Street.
Oh.
They were puppets who had their own universe. And I was Vash, the scullery maid.
How many shows did you do?
I was on the premiere show of Saturday Night Live.
Okay, no, I didn't know if that was.
Actually, what happened was they wanted something that was self-contained, and every week another one of the puppet characters was eliminated until it was only one left, Scred, who would interact with the host. But I was on the premiere show.
What was your puppet voice? Did you have a what was your puppet voice?
I didn't need a puppet voice because my own was so appropriate for that sexy character.
Oh, it was a sexy character.
Well, how
Okay.
could it not be?
It was the princess.
Well, the flashbulbs were going off. Did you have video of that?
You can find it someplace, I'm sure.
No, that's not going to work. I want you to send me video.
Now, you were also in Pretty Woman, right?
Yes, I am, and I'm in the beginning of Pretty Woman. A lot of people were getting popcorn when I had my lines, and they make believe they didn't see me or they missed me. If you look at the credits, Bermuda is my character's name, and I am there in the credits, and I am in the very early stages of the film. And I actually shot on the first night of filming in Los Angeles. And at the time, it wasn't called Pretty Woman. It was called 3,000 for the amount of money that he was paying her. For
Right, yeah. What was did you get to hang with them?
What do you mean?
Like Richard Gere and all? Did you get to hang with them?
Richard Gere wasn't there the first night.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't there either. I wouldn't know that.
The first night was setting her up the situation of her as a prostitute.
Okay.
As a woman of the night, as a street walker, the ambiance of that whole situationship.
Wow.
So you got to work with her then, Julia Roberts?
No, no. Go look at the fucking movie and start it from the beginning, and you will see me. And even if you don't see me, you'll see my name in the credits. Bermuda is the name of my character.
I'm just saying.
Pissed her off in record time.
No, usually it takes me a lot longer to piss off the
You
guests.
guys are like this.
No. No, see, I know that experience too because it's happened with me in Bros. Because you see me for like, I don't know, 10 seconds in Bros, and I had more lines. They cut everything, so I'm with you there.
So
Go ahead, Kat.
the earlier acting. I'm gonna try to bring us back here. And then what? Like what after that? In more acting, or did you go on the road doing stand up?
Well, the stand up really started taking off. I will skip over the year or two that I was a secretary of the Puppetry Guild of Greater New York. And
wait a minute, you can't
Just
skip
was this
over
the first
that.
night, or did you?
You can't skip over the fact that you were the secretary of the Puppetry Guild. That's like we represent the Lollipop Guild. This is almost like the same thing.
We represent the Puppetry Guild. The Puppetry Guild.
I don't mean to. I was not expecting this. No, Rhonda.
I've done a lot. I've been around the block several times, and boy, are my feet tired.
Tell me about the Puppetry Guild. What is that? Is it a union?
Well, it was the Association of Puppeteers, and I after working with the Muppets, I went on to do work with Pickwick Puppetry and working with life-size puppets. And I became part of the puppetry community, and I liked it so much that I took the office of secretary for a while.
Did you ever? Now I know there's a different marionettes. Did you ever do those too? Were you marionettes?
I did not like marionettes. I loved hand puppets. And actually, when the Muppets started training me, we were being trained for huge pieces that you would be inside of. Your entire body would be
Sesame
inside
Street,
of it.
like a Big Bird.
And when I came into the workshop was like a reality show, another one of those things where they were looking for actors to be puppeteers on a huge stage. They were talking about Madison Square Garden, And every week, we do exercises and you'd come in and someone else would be gone. And this one week I came in, and instead of our training being to express ourselves inside a costume, we were starting to work from the elbow to the tip of our fingers with smaller puppets.
Was Jim Henson there? Were you
Jim
working with him?
Henson and Frank Oz taught me
Wow.
puppetry. I was
Wow.
taught puppetry by the founders of the Muppets, Jim Henson and Frank Oz. And when they switched up our training, they said, we're going to be working for television, which involved looking at a monitor and working the puppet with your hand. And all of the expression was in your voice and from your elbow to the tip of your fingers.
Have you done anything with it recently? Are you still involved?
Recently, no. I taught puppetry for a long time, which was really fun. And I did my own puppetry show, but I liked stand-up better. I really liked stand-up better. But all of it is just, I'm an artist. All of it was just anything I could do. Like I said, to say, I'm in show business.
It would seem like a natural extension from the puppetry that you go into ventriloquism and stand up. Did that ever occur to you?
What?
To be a ventriloquist and do stand up as a?
I would play with ventriloquism, but that was not me. There were really good people who were ventriloquists, and that's not what I wanted. I really wanted to be seen for me. So that's another one of the reasons why, eventually the puppetry faded, because I wanted to be a star. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be adored.
And that's which brings us to your stand-up career. See what I did there?
Yes, I did.
All right. So you met. Can we say the agent's name? The manager's name. Very well-known guy that you were with.
Which one?
Irvin.
Well, he was an agent. Irvin Arthur was my
Right.
agent. Dave Jonas was my manager. The manager was
Okay.
Dave Jonas. The guy said, I want to be with someone whose most well-known client just committed suicide. So let me go with
Who was
Dave
he? Freddie
Jonas.
Prinze? He was Freddie Prinze?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, all right. So let's talk about how that happened. How did you come about after how many years in stand-up?
Well, not that long, actually. And I really wish that I had someone now. I worked with Dave Jonas in Vegas, Atlantic City, the Catskills. I actually honed my comedy in the Catskills. And Dave and Irvin Arthur put me on with the Pointer Sisters, Anita Baker, touring. I toured for 2.5 years opening for Anita Baker. But with all of these major music stars, Aretha Franklin, Smokey Robinson, and I loved that. I loved that they were working together to put me in very high profile places like Constitution Hall, Radio City, all of these fabulous places with some of the most outstanding music acts.
We've had this conversation privately about how you felt, though, and if I'm going over a line here, let me know. But how in retrospect, you wish you had stayed in the comedy scene back then.
Well, I wasn't in the comedy scene. The Catskills, is known for being a comedy scene. What was challenging for me being a staple there in the Catskills was that I did an act. I did my act, and I felt like I could not break out of that. As you know now, I do a lot of political stuff, Julia, and that's why I have no paying work. So, but then I just did my act, and I kept it in a box, and I felt like I couldn't expand it all. It was wonderful money. It was wonderful working there. It was great, being there with the other acts. Another time of either headlining in places like the Villa Roma and the Granite, and all of the Catskill hotels. But I began to feel a little stifled, and I wanted to be able to say more of what I felt. For those who don't know, in the Catskills, there were people who are there like all the time, and they would wear like a badge of honor to say what comedians they had walked out on. And Joan Rivers was the kind of comedian that if she said damn once or if she said fuck once, I mean, whole tables would get up and walk out saying she's being dirty, when she was one of the most hilarious women in comedy and was not filthy. And I mean, that's the kind of box that I felt I was in. But now I do a lot of writing, political writing. I am a writer, a contributor on Politipod podcast, and one of my main bits is called Real
Oh,
News.
what happened?
And that's
Oh no.
news with it. Are we okay?
For some reason, it seems like Julie is having a hard time with her connection.
Well, oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, she's
mine
frozen.
may go out. Okay, so should I wait?
What happened?
Oh, Julia,
Hang
come
on.
back to me, my love.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, did you guys lose everything? I just lost
You
everything.
froze up and you've gone for like 10 seconds, 20
Okay.
15 seconds.
But you're back.
Okay.
You're back.
And my front. So you were. I wanted to take a step back to the Catskills for a minute, because we all know the famous stories about how Carlin and Pryor were making gobs of money in Vegas, and they had that moment in their career where they just said, "Fuck this," and they wanted to do more and walked out and began anew. You kind of feel like that's what happened to you.
Well, yeah, and unfortunately, it was a bad timing for me because, if you don't have an agent, if you don't have a manager, there's not very much you can get. And I walked away from that because I wanted in my entire life, I was looking for a different mode of expression. But yeah, I felt like, as an artist, I wasn't being fulfilled. Now, put me in a box, pay me the money, I'll be happy.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is because we do have comics that watch this thing, and you and I, to some extent, Cathy, but I mean, you and I, we were there at the beginning. We've seen everything. Our whole life is involved in comedy. Looking back, do you think it was a mistake to walk away? Because, and I ask you this. Well, wait, let me hear me out. I ask you that because that life, the Catskills are gone. So if you had stayed there, what would you have done?
I don't know. I have no idea. But when I walked away, it was still a vibrant part of entertainment. I have no idea what maybe I would have been able to move into movies, which is what I really wanted to do, or move into theater, acting in theater. As you know, I'm a director. I'm a theater director, and I was just nominated for Best Director for an original play, Dust of Egypt, in the New York Theater Festival. And that play actually won Best Actress. But at the time, I went to Brooklyn College Performing Arts, and I really felt like I missed nurturing in that theater community, because the only Black professor was on sabbatical the entire time I was there. And so no one looked after me, at Brooklyn College. And what one of the things that I saw happening was that people who were not in academia were acting. They were in movies. I mean, they were, there were movies being shot actually in Brooklyn and all over the place. And I was, in this ivory tower at Brooklyn College, not being put in the works that were going on there, and I was not in the professional world. So it was very challenging for me.
It had, I mean, you had to have such intestinal fortitude to just continue to keep going, because I can only imagine. I mean, that was what, 20, 30 years ago?
I'll take 20, 30 years.
I was, trying to think about it. I don't want to pick you up again.
Whatever it was very challenging. It was very challenging.
Nothing like what it is today, where everybody is, talking about how to, it's like it's embraced at the schools, and really, trying to get all types of people and opinions and everything, and just being on the front end of having that voice and being able to have a say. I can see why you would want to really continue to be a star,
Well, that's what I wanted to do. I felt that there was something in me that I had to express. And like I said, I'm an artist, and however I could do it, I do it. Somebody says, do my podcast. I go, I'm in show business.
But all right, so you've made this growth from Catskill comic to political comic and satirist and playwright. That was not an instant switch. It had to be gradual.
No,
Did you?
it was a gradual thing that came from inside. I actually last in the winter, I was the host and artist coordinator for the off-Broadway run of Indictment Excitement. That was 6 nights a week of political comedy in an off-Broadway theater on 42nd Street. And
wow,
it was just incredible. It was all political comics. And I loved it because I worked every single night. And the producer, wanted material around the possible indictment of Trump. And it was just great. But all of this is something that evolved, in my consciousness, in my change of understanding about myself, who I am, and my political growth. I actually had, a political growth, which then started to be reflected in my comedy.
Did you find that happened prior to, like, you became political prior to the 2016 election, or did you feel like that?
Oh yeah, it was. Oh, all of that was just happening with my life. Yeah, before the election, and I actually some of your viewers may want to go on Facebook and check on Politunatics. Politunatics are the cartoons that I write with an illustrator, Scott Williams. Politunatics. We have to get something up for this year. Scott is involved with a lot. But that's the way I am. Like, if it's writing cartoons, I'm there. If it's directing, in theater. In fact, I just got an inquiry about directing a piece in another festival that I have to check out. If it's doing a 10-minute set at Poco. I mean, I hadn't felt well for a while. And when I was just starting to come back from not feeling well, and I had a set 2 weeks ago or a week ago at a place called Poco, had never been there before. The booker, I don't remember how I knew the booker, and I had such a great time. I mean, it was this little room that was sold out underneath a restaurant. And
are you talking Poco's in Doylestown?
No.
Oh.
No, No,
Oh,
it's
in New York. Okay.
right here in New York.
Oh, okay.
And it was like heaven. I felt like, after not being on stage for a while, to, walk into a place where I could do political stuff and the audience actually knew what I was talking about, and laughed, and I had some stuff that I could actually post online. It was heaven, absolutely heaven.
I want to stay in that vein for a minute. There was a time in the 60s and maybe the 70s where political comics could not only survive but thrive. And we look at Mort Saul and Lenny and all those people, but why do you think you can't do that today? Why?
I can do it. I don't think it's commercial. I can
That's
do
well,
it.
that's what I mean.
Well, you look at the Clintons of the world, like, or she was very political back in the day, but who's really doing that type of political?
But that's my
humor
point, though.
right now?
The audiences, you can't survive financially as a
Well,
political
but
commentator.
the thing is, the society is so full of tension that if you make a joke that offends one person, that can really lead to untold repercussions. It's not like when Richard Pryor, could say, some of the things that he did, or even Eddie Murphy. And actually, one of the reasons why I love Cat Williams as a comedian, not just because he's so physical, but because he inserts political commentary in his material, and you don't even realize it. You think, he's just being off the wall, or maybe he's cursing, or just acting crazy, and then you hear the political message that's underneath what he's saying. It's unfortunate that the society is a lot more tense. I mean, books are being banned. How do you think people are going to be able to do?
But I want to drill down a little bit more on the reason that you don't see. Do you think it's that I have this theory about comedian training? Is it what it was when you and I came up? We had the advantage of working in clubs where we could study under much more advanced comics than we were. We could learn.
This is what I
our
was
craft.
telling people, that I was first passed at, I became a regular at Catch a Rising Star. So that meant while I was just hanging out or waiting to go on at 12:30, 1 o'clock, or 2 o'clock, I could see Robin Williams, David Brenner, Richard Belzer, I mean, people who were moving into the height of their careers, and as you say, you could watch more advanced people and learn and absorb from them. I don't know if that's possible now for the comics coming up, because I think so much of their development is in open mics.
That's my point. Where do you go to school? Where can you go to school? Like we went to school. There's no substitute for that kind of training. I don't think there's nothing that exists. You can go to all the classes you want, but it doesn't.
But
you don't get the experience of seeing someone who has honed a joke or honed a bit, and see them delivering it live and getting the electricity of the audience connecting with them, and the audience and hearing the actual pitch of the laughter, the volume and velocity of the laughter in connection with the trajectory of the joke, because this person is on that rarefied or higher level of experience. And you're right. It's something that you have to actually have be almost an apprentice or an acolyte of someone who's like that to get that experience. Whereas we could walk into our home club. I was past the Catch a Rising Star and also the Improv. And people would be there, Andy Kaufman. I could see Andy Kaufman at the Improv. And
for me, it was the beginning. The first time I saw Uncle Dirty. We've brought him up before.
Uncle Dirty was.
And even though it was very scripted at that point, I didn't know it the first time I saw it.
But that's what the greats make it look like. The greats make because they've done these jokes hundreds of times, so sometimes they're working things out. But the greats really make it look like it's all it's in the moment, but that's something that I love when I see new comics or when I see an established comedian doing material that I haven't heard. I love that stuff, Julia.
Yes, I do too. You know, I'm sorry, I'm monopolizing this, Cathy. You want to? You have a question?
No. I don't. I have an observation, and you were asking what do you think happened, and I think the way people stopped coming to clubs because we started with the internet and different ways of getting our entertainment. Before, people had to go out to a movie or theater or a comedy show, and now they don't have to. And so I think they stopped putting that second show on, that late night show. And then now they're just doing one show. And then the shows just get smaller and smaller because the audiences get smaller. And I also think there was a boom probably in the 2000s, early 2000s, where there were so many people doing comedy that it flooded the market. And a lot of them weren't very good. And so people that went to comedy shows sometimes had a bad experience. It's like, it wasn't that good or this or that. And so I think.
Well, we saw the beginnings of that, didn't we, Rhonda? Right around the time, I want to say mid 90s, right around the time bringer shows were starting to pop up. We would hear about.
It's very interesting because when we started, we knew everyone who was on our coast who was doing comedy.
Yes.
We knew everyone or knew of everyone.
Right.
If we hadn't been standing at the bar with them, we had seen them at the bar, or we had seen them in the back of the room. And then sometimes if you would, be bi-coastal or go to the other coast, someone who you were familiar with from television or someone had spoken about, you saw them. Now it's not that way. It really, it isn't that way anymore. You had a small number of people who were doing it. And then, like you said, it started to explode so that everybody you knew someone who was doing comedy. I mean, every civilian you knew somebody who had started doing comedy. And it really, like you said, it got oversaturated. And some people got chosen, some people got promoted, some people got picked, and maybe they were not ready for prime time or whatever situation they were in. I have heard stories about people who have tremendous followings on social media. By the way, follow me on social media, like me on TikTok, lo behold, 100 on TikTok. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. But these people who have thousands and thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers who really enjoy their online presentation, and they can't hold a candle to a live audience.
Right.
It's interesting you say that, because comedy was sort of like rock and roll, early rock and roll. It was sort of underground. It was a little bit dangerous. It was, low ceiling clubs, smoky, shit was going on, man. And it's like, if you were hip, you would be in on it. Then it became a business, an industry, and it's where you are. What you're saying right now with the social media. I may not get booked because I can't fill a 500-seat room. Who said that? I could fill a 500-seat room. Anyway, but some schlemiel who's got 1.2 million followers just has to put up, I'm going to be at
And what they were doing for a while, these reality TV people were trying to go into stand-up comedy too. And so they would just have a name because they were on Amish People or whatever. And then this person is now headlining the local comedy club. And you go, and the other two comics are blowing this person out of the water. And then they get up at it's just like you're booked because of your name, but you don't have any talent.
It begs the question, Where do you see the future of our business, our profession?
Oh my gosh. Oh, the future of it. That's such a fascinating question. I have no idea because, well, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like with AI and chatbot, uh, they are taking over everything. So it's like people are writing acts based on that. I mean, there was a rapper, an artificial intelligence rapper, which thank God they got rid of him because he was like impersonating a black person and using the N word, non-disclosure, and that was a joke, non-disclosure, and the N word.
No, I'm trying to get my head around it. That was it
But
a
but I also feel like robots and the automation of our lives is actually a plan to kill us. But when you have a chatbot, which I've done some real news presentations on that. When you have chatbot and artificial intelligence taking actually the spirit of research and inspiration and creativity away, they won't you won't need a live person like us, that you won't need someone who is spontaneous, someone who can improv, someone who is drawing on years and years of experience like we have. The thing about chatbot and the artificial intelligence is that it frequently makes up things and then it becomes self-referential, so that if they're doing a footnote, they're doing a footnote of something that a chatbot made up, and and so our whole
wow.
society is going to be about people who are uh, reading and being entertained by, being instructed by um, artificial intelligence, and it will have less and less to do with our humanity, and yeah, the robots will kill us.
You drove her away, Rhonda. She left.
I see. I
She
see.
said, "Screw it. If the world's going to end, I'm getting a bourbon."
I don't consider these conspiracy theories. I consider it conspiracy fact.
Do you really truly believe that, or is that just kind of like a grandiose
I'm
statement?
serious.
Yeah.
You don't feel. I
I don't
just
know if it's designed
I
to eliminate us, but
I just saw a post about a bill that the government wants to pass, that anything in your home. I'm not just talking about your computer, but your refrigerator, your toaster, your microwave, your television, that they will be able to use that to spy on you at any time without your knowledge. I mean, anyone who does not feel like this is kind of weird,
Orwellian. It's Orwellian.
it's past Orwellian for me. I mean, this is what our society is evolving to, and that's the trajectory that we're on, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's why I don't have a microwave. All of these smart appliances, and this is the thing, this they could even watch you through your electric meter. They can deduce, they can analytically deduce things about you from the amount of water that you use, from the amount of electricity that you use. And if you think about it, for the past, I would say, at least 5 years, we have different utilities have gone off the grid, have different utilities have gone offline. Entire studios have had their data hacked. I mean, that we have had experiments in taking away our ability to communicate. It hasn't been mass yet. It hasn't been a mass thing, but that our electricity, some of electrical grids go down, some our water. Jesus Christ, our water. it's almost like state by state, our water supply is being more poisoned than it already is. I mean, our water supply, even what we drink, has all kinds of pharmaceuticals in it.
Yeah.
But then,
PFAS
like,
and stuff.
yeah,
Well,
but
all right. So I didn't want to go here, but as long as we're here,
as long as we're here.
Let's go.
I mean, I tend to agree with you about there's a we are, if anybody believes that we are free is, just wrong. But that begs the question, where do comedians fit in that space? Because our history as performers, as comics, has been to point out the truth. Uh,
To say the emperor has no clothes.
exactly. So and now we do it at the risk of our life. But that's the job we chose. Do we continue to do? Do we
Well,
just?
I'm going to continue to do it because I got nothing else to do. That
You don't have a Pilates gig, you mean? You don't have...
I'm going to continue to do it, and I really do feel like I will find my audience. My audience will find me, or it really won't matter because I saw Lust for Life about Van Gogh, this
Oh my God, I
movie
love
about
that
Van
movie.
Gogh.
I love that
And
movie.
this man is so passionate about doing his work. He never got the money from his work. He never even got the glory from his work, and if I can have at least the satisfaction, the human satisfaction of what I do, and enjoying myself, I'll be happy, even if our banking system is going down faster than Gwyneth Paltrow on the bunny slope.
Nice run.
Hey, she lost a half day skiing.
Well, do you have anything you want to plug? Because this is going to pop up in about 2 weeks on.
I want people to listen to me on Monday nights. I join John Fugelsang every Monday night on Sirius XM, channel 127 on Sirius XM Progress. It's hashtag Handsome Monday, and I really do want people to sign up to get my newsletter. You can go to rhondahansome.com and sign up to stay in touch with me, because they want to take down TikTok, and social media may really be in trouble at some point, and I want people to at least have a way to stay in touch with me. So go to rhondahansome.com or go to Rhonda Hansome Comedy on Facebook, and like me, follow me on Twitter at Rhonda Hansome. Like a handsome man without the
Handsome
D.
is spelled Hansome, not Handesome.
It's like a handsome man without the D, Hansome. Rhonda, like help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
Okay.
How many times have you heard that in your life?
Oh, not that much, because I am around people who have never heard that song before.
Oh.
I am around people who are so young that when I say, help me, Rhonda, help me, Rhonda, they just go, well, this old lady is a little detached.
Well, did you, I want to thank you. Did you have fun?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I went off on some kind of conspiratorial rant in between the glitches in the podcast, and it was like a whirlwind. How could I not have fun with you two? And I miss you so much, Julia. And as soon as I said I missed you, did you go away again, girl?
She's gone right now. Tell her she looks like a princess.
Oh, you look like a princess, darling. You look like a princess.
She had to end up doing the show on her phone, and so she wasn't able to get the full hookup. But
no, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I mean. We are now so dependent upon the technology that we are at its mercy.
Right.
This is the way we communicate with each other. And when it works, it's fantastic. And when it doesn't, it just likes to point at us and laugh.
stupid people that trust us.
Yes, Julia, the answer to your question is yes, I have fun. I always have fun with you. And, we got to go walk the boardwalk and have some more fun sooner or later.
Rhonda,
Can you hear?
I don't think she can hear you.
It looks like Julia can't hear.
She can't hear. So here's what we're going to do. Rhonda, I'm going to thank you on behalf of both of us. And thank you so much for being here. And you come back anytime you want. You have an open invitation. We would love to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I did have fun. And I loved it.
Good.
Now, let me know. Can you let me know when I should tell people to look for this?
Yep. We'll let you know. Jimmy, somebody will shoot you an email or whatever. But
wonderful.
Be well and good luck. Have fun on Mondays with the Sirius XM show. And we will see you soon. All right. Julia says, I have no void. Bye, Rhonda. Be well.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care. See you later. All right. That was the show. Julia's looking pretty. Doesn't you look pretty? Look at her. I'm so pretty. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. We're going to wrap this shit show up. We'll see you next weekend. Be good to each other. Be nice. Bye.